What's up, witches? I'm here. I'm just too tired right now to set up lighting or anything. So my lamps are gonna have to do. But what's up, witches? Surprise, surprise. How we doing? I am. Wait, hold on. Oh, there we go. I am jumping on real quick. I know sometimes I say that and then it don't be real quick, but I'm hopping on real quick. I just wanted to chill and check in with you guys for a little surprise live because I went to Witchsfest today. Yes. And I wanted to share my thoughts and updates and things that happened. A little witching in the city went down today. Trying to get that light out of y'all's face. Yeah, what's up, witches? Who's in the building? Say what's up in the comments. How we doing? Where are you tuning in from? Are you a Bronx witch like me? Are you from somewhere else in the world? But I just wanted to document my thoughts on this year's Witches Fest. I didn't just get back. I've been home for hours, but I've been so exhausted, so tired. Hey, Elijah, how you doing? Good to see you, my love. I am super exhausted and like my head is swimming. I can practically think. And I just spent quite a bit of time making some content, a recap video, just to say thank you for the experience, posting in my stories and in the stories for HQ as well. This year and last year, I've hosted meetups. So basically, I go down to Witches Fest. I don't throw Witches Fest, but I go down to Witches Fest and I pick a spot and a time for anybody who follows me or follows the shop to meet up. And basically, I do that because I realize that when it comes to going to events like this, festivals and fairs and conferences, I think there are a lot of witches, especially new witches, that want to go to these things, but either struggle with shyness, anxiety, are, severely introverted, or that just don't really enjoy going to things by themselves or without a friend or a familiar face attending as well. So it occurred to me last year that, you know what? I don't have to do anything official with Witches Fest. What if since I'm going anyway and I go every year, why don't I just tell people where I'm going to be and what time, and they can look for a familiar face. And hopefully that will encourage them to go and make it a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable, because there's going to be somebody there that they recognize. And today was absolutely epic. We had 5 or 6 people officially come to the meetup, but then I had oh my God, I can't even count, definitely over a dozen people just recognize me from, social media, from YouTube, or recognize the shop, recognize me from the shop, and come up to me. And I could tell when they did that they had the same feeling that I had after going a couple of years, when you start to see familiar faces and you're going to a place, you're going to an event, and it's oh, hey, oh, hey, that makes such a huge difference, than going somewhere by yourself. Even if you go somewhere by yourself and the event is perfectly lovely and everything's nice and all of that stuff, you're going to kind of go, you look at the tables, you look at the presentation, and then you leave, It's not the same thing as going and seeing people that you recognize, even if they aren't close personal friends. I know for me as a new witch, especially because I was so young when that was happening, it would have been really amazing for me to see familiar faces at the places that I would go to, you know. It was a lot of me just going by myself and being by myself. And I'm really grateful that I'm a very social person. I don't know if I would call myself an extrovert because I'm a Leo. So if there's any Leos in the building, then you know how we get down. It's 50-50 with us. We are definitely introvert extroverts or whatever people call it. I always say if you want to understand a Leo really well, all you have to do is just look at like a cat's behavior. And the same way a cat will be all up on you, sleep on your face, and then 5 seconds later be ready to murder you for touching it. That's how Leos are. We are go, go, go. We're really social. We want to be all up in your face. We want to be all up in the thing. We don't mind being the center of the attention. We don't mind people paying attention to us or watching what we're doing. We're not like nervous about like being embarrassed in public or people looking at us. That's not a problem. But the second we are done, we are done. It's a wrap. It is a wrap and it is over. But I am really grateful that I am as social as I am and that I am as interested in meeting people. And that I'm as good as I am at talking to people that I've just met and making connections with people that I've just met. Speaking of people I've just met, if you just came in the building, drop your location, say what's up, say hi to the other witches in the room. Okay, I'm talking about bringing the witches together, so that's what we do here. So I'm really grateful that I am extroverted like that, that I'm the type of person that engages pretty easily, I think. And I think the feedback that I get and something that I aim to do is to make people feel really comfortable when they talk with me. And feel welcome and stuff like that. So when I was a baby witch and I was, a young teenager going to events and going to shops and things like that, it wasn't too hard for me to talk to people and overcome a lot of the like nervousness and anxiety and awkwardness of like being places by yourself. But I know that most people are not like me. I know that. I know that for a lot of people, going to an event by themselves is a very undesirable, nerve-wracking idea. I know that for a lot of people, even if they went with people they know, that they have, anxiety or shyness or just have a hard time communicating with people that they've never met before. And it might take them longer to get comfortable with somebody, to be able to have like fluid conversation. So I know that a lot of people are not like me, and I want to make space for people who are not like that. So anyway, that was my thought process behind the whole meetup idea. And I think it's been going really well, because the way that I do it, people don't feel pressure. It's not all eyes on you. It's not some formal thing. I basically just say, I'm going to be at this place at this time. Come through. If you want to say hi to me, I'm going to be at exactly this spot. If you don't want to say hi, but you just want to know that I'm there, I'm going to be there for these hours. And I just walk around basically. And the witches that met up with me, we kind of convened together. We sat down for a while, said hi, and, just checked in with everybody. And then I showed everybody around. Hey, how you doing, Olia? What's up, beautiful? And because I've been many years and I know a lot of folks, I basically kind of did a overview of, where the presentation booths are, where the vendor booths are, where the performances are happening, and, how to know who's presenting what, because there are like teachers and presenters, and there's like a calendar, but it's like posted in a small spot. So you got to know where to go to look at the calendar to see who's presenting. And I let them know about like the time frame, when the closing ceremony would be, all that good stuff. So I basically just kind of introduce people to the event so that if they've never been before, they know where to go. They know where the bathrooms are. They know where to go get something to eat, and then we kind of like go all of our separate ways. And people kind of broke off into clumps. Some people were walking faster than others. Some people wanted to really slow down and shop. Some people wanted to go down to the presenters and pick a presenter to listen to. So everybody kind of did their thing, and then we like met up again at the end, and it was really, really fantastic. I'm doing good, my dear. I'm giving a little recap of Witchsfest, which was today, an event that I go to every year here in the city, thrown by the Wiccan Family Temple. And that for the last couple of years, I've done meetups at to make it a little easier for people to come out to this event. So, many vendors, many presenters, lots of familiar faces for me because now I've been going for a few years. And, with running the shop, I've gotten really close with a lot of like vendors and presenters and authors. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. So, people who have been on my podcast were there, people who have done book signings at the shop were there, vendors who have vended at our tea and tarot events are there. So it's kind of cool to like personally know the presenters and the vendors and stuff like that. It's a different experience, I think, than when you're going as a guest, because if you're going as a guest, you're probably doing just like a lot of shopping, which is fine. I definitely did some shopping. But for me, it's an opportunity to like connect with witches on a deeper level that are, entrepreneurial, that are doing things in the witch community, growing communities of their own. Folks like that, folks that I like to connect with because I have a lot more in common with personally. So that's really great for me to basically kind of connect with my witchy friends and colleagues and peers. And shout out to Star Ravenhawk, okay, High Priestess of the Wiccan Family Temple, largest Wiccan coven in New York. They have like a formal coven. They also have classes, certification classes. So if you're interested in being a part of a formal Wiccan tradition and working your way up in the ranks of a formal Wiccan tradition, they're the largest one in the city. And most people don't know that they exist because Star is amazing, but she is older, not necessarily the most tech savvy. And she's got like an Instagram page, but I don't think she's ever like on it. You know what I mean? I think she's like maybe in her 60s, late 60s, 70s, maybe even now. So that's one of the things that I think is important for witches to understand, is that like you may think that these things are not happening where you are, and the truth of the matter is they're probably happening right down the street. But not everybody is like me, not everybody is posting on Instagram 3 times a day. Not everybody is opening up a physical location where you can go find them. Okay. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for that, Key. I was just looking at Nolia's. No, you had no idea witches festival existed, right? Okay, so there are witches festivals everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And a part of the reason I'm please don't take this as me calling you out. This is just me observing something that I have observed after having the same conversation with so many people at this point. Because the comment that you just made, I get a lot. Whether it's about my shop or about a festival or about an event we throw, I get a lot of, I had no idea this existed. I hear this so much. And I have to ask you, were you looking? Where are you looking? And I don't mean you specifically, Nolia. I just mean to anybody watching this who is thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, I wish there was a Witches Fest by me. Or, oh my goodness, I wish Allie would open a shop like that in my town. I want you to ask yourself if you've been really looking. Because something that I have noticed about the social media generation and the way that social media has impacted us is that it has made us passive, incredibly passive, meaning we wait for social media to do the work for us and send us and force feed and spoon feed us everything, whether it's knowledge, whether it's news about what's happening in the world, whether it's about things that we are interested in or we claim that we're interested in. We scroll, and we wait for the algorithm to show us things. And if they don't show us things, then we assume they just don't exist. And so we've got to stop that. And I thank you, Nolia, for being honest and admitting that you haven't been looking for witches festivals. And that's why you don't know that they exist. And you probably follow witches and lots of witchy things, and that's great. But you can't guarantee that your algorithm is going to show you the things that matter. And in fact, you can almost guarantee that the algorithm is going to show you stuff that doesn't matter, because the algorithm's got its own agenda about what it wants you to be paying attention to. And I don't know that social media companies are terribly concerned about whether or not you are genuinely fulfilled as a person, have a strong community of like-minded individuals around you, or know how to level up as a spiritual individual. Okay. Hey, Scarlet Moon. Hey, what's going on? Okay. I don't think Meta cares about those things. Hey, Takara. Takara was at Witchsfest, everybody. So Takara can share her thoughts and experiences, because I think this was your first time, right, Takara? Takara came to the meetup. So, like I said, thank you for being honest about that, because and I do it too. I do this too. I'm not acting like this doesn't happen to all of us, but we do definitely get into the habit of letting the algorithm feed us things and not necessarily asking ourselves, what do we really need in our lives, and then going to look for it. So whether you're saying to yourself, oh, I can't find a spiritual teacher, I can't find a magical teacher, I can't find a coven, there's no events near me, there's no witchy community near me, there's no shops that I can go to, there's no tarot readers near me, there's no, all of those things that you're telling yourself that there aren't. I just want you to check in with yourself and ask whether or not you've genuinely been looking, or if you've just been kind of hoping that the algorithm would show you stuff near you, or that you could, participate in. And if it's the latter, let's change that. Let's change that. If you are following me on any social media platforms, then you are interested in witchcraft and the lifestyle of a witch in some way. How serious are you about that? Are you just watching me for entertainment? Which is like, that's fine. But becoming a witch could literally change your life. You know, um, I am creating the most incredibly, insanely awesome, magical life for myself. And I'm doing it, yes, with hard work, yes, with blah, 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 but with magic, with magic. Like, if you follow me on IG last night, you saw in my stories, I was over here at this very altar working a cord cutting for somebody. And that's going to make their lives better. And they're a loved one. So that's going to make my life better. And then earlier today, I was doing some more work. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to be getting up and taking my spiritual bath with the rainwater I collected from this new moon in Cancer's rainstorm. And that's going to make a difference in terms of how the rest of my week goes. And all of the things that I do as a witch have made my life so much better and make it so much easier for me to navigate through things that would be so difficult to handle if I didn't have my own spiritual practice, if I didn't have magic in my pocket and spells and things that I could pull out when I need to, elders that I could turn to for guidance, and people like Takara that I can just like hang out with and do witchy shit with, so that I can integrate that part of myself into my whole life and not have it be this like side thing that I do like when I get a chance. So if you watch me just to be entertained, then that's fine. But if you watch me because you see me doing something that you would like to do for yourself, I promise you, I did not become what I am. And I've never done the things that I do by just like laying here hoping that somebody gives it to me. That's just never happened. I have made the conscious decision that I want to be a practitioner. I want to be able to cast effective magic. I want to be able to divine for myself. I want to be able to create my life, have a certain power and agency in my life, have a certain understanding of who I am, and what the spiritual world is all about. And I get up every day and I educate myself and I interact with other witches and I look for witches to meet and I look for books to read and I look for events to go to. I look for shops to shop at. I look for these places and I do that work. And if you do that too, then whatever it is that you see me doing that you wish you can do, I promise you, you can. Takara is giving her recap as well about Witchsfest. I'm so glad you had a great time. Yay, good chills. Good chills are good. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Scarlet Moon is saying that they used to be a part of the Wiccan family temple. And life is different now. That's okay. You know what I mean? I'm really happy that the event is still happening. I think this was the 15th year, which is wild, and so amazing and wonderful, that they've been going for 15 years. Hey, what's up, Mad Clips in the building? Good to see you. So yeah, so the meetup was definitely a success. Witchsfest was wonderful this year. The COVID year, whatever year that was, I think that was 2022. It had to be canceled. People thought it was canceled, but like the online version of it was canceled. Some part of it was canceled. And that caused some confusion, I think. And so, like a couple of years ago, we had kind of like a quiet year, where it was like half the size of what it usually is. But this year, it was like back in full effect. All the vendor spots looked full to me. There were like maybe one or two empty ones. There was a constant rotation of presenters and performances. It happens on Astor Place, which is in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan by Cooper Union and NYU. And so there's a lot of people milling about. And I noticed that a lot of people brought their Pride stuff out, which I thought was cool. So people seem to have a lot of like leftover Pride gear because there was a lot of rainbows and a lot of like Pride flags and stuff that I guess people were like, shit, I bought this last month. I'm gonna wear it again. There's a lot of Pride stuff, which was cool. But that's really a great neighborhood for it. Being down by the colleges and by the art schools, it is a more progressive area, probably a more liberal area, a younger area. So there's a lot of people that are going to be interested in walking through the fair. So it was pretty busy. And yeah, it was just great to see it happen again. And I just had so much fun and got to see a lot of vendors. And I think my focus this year was on really making sure that I build a relationship with all of the vendors and presenters. That was really big because now that I have headquarters, I am a resource to them more than anything else. We Half of our shop is retail, so we sell candles, we sell crystals, we sell books. But people, I feel like, can get those things. Not everything. We have some things that you can only get from us, and things that we make and things like that. But when it comes to a book or a chime candle or something like that, there are literally thousands of places that people could go to buy these things. Our work share space, though, is unbelievably unique. There is not a single work share space in all of the city that caters to witches and magical practitioners. There is not a single work share that provides tables that are specifically for tarot readers, that come with storage boxes for your cards and things like that. There is not a single work share space in the city that is energetically cleansed on a weekly basis and where all of the staff that work there are all practicing witches and tarot readers and Reiki healers. We are very, very unique in that regard. And we offer a space for practitioners to service their clients, to teach classes and workshops, to host events and meetups and meetings, and even for vendors to create pop-ups, which is something that we've had happen at the shop a few times that I don't think people think about when they think about like all the amazing things that somebody can do in our space. But if you are a vendor and you make something or you sell something, what do you do in the wintertime if you're in New York City? Where are all the festivals? Where are all the fairs? Those are mostly happening during the good weather months, right? So do you just let your sales dry up in the wintertime? What do? Why don't you come to HQ and turn our relax room into your own personal pop-up shop? We've had a couple of people do that, and it's amazing. You have a blank room that you can create whatever you want in and have for an entire day if you want it. And so I really wanted to make sure that I touched base with as many of the vendors as I could and the presenters as I could to let them know that, like, hey, you don't have to be outside on a 90-degree day. Like, you could be indoors in air conditioning with like complimentary coffee and tea at a location that's really easy to get to, that's growing in popularity with every day. That is super affordable. I don't know if you guys know, but our relax room is $20 an hour. And if you get one of our hourly bundles, like a 3-hour bundle, 6-hour bundle, 8-hour bundle, it goes down. If you get an 8-hour bundle, you get an entire hour free. Okay. So if you are a new practitioner, a new creator, and cost matters to you, you're not able to turn your apartment into a full service spa or, local store. You're not willing to have people in your house. You don't love the idea of doing house calls. You don't have the money to rent a full office for yourself or a full studio for yourself. What do you do? What do you do? And I wanted to answer that question for people because I was in that same position. I got Reiki certified and then COVID hit. And I was like, where the hell am I supposed to take my clients? I'm not necessarily trying to have people in my house and I'm not trying to go to theirs. What do I do? So that was a big motivation when the opportunity to open HQ came to me. I could have made the whole space a shop, and it could just be retail. But Spirit said, we did not give you this just for you. You thought, you thought this was for you. This is for the community, honey. We're just putting you in charge because you're good at shit like that. But this is for all the witches. So to make that possible, I've kept our prices really low, despite how hard it is for us to maintain like that. But yeah, I really feel like that is super, super important and a part of my purpose and my passion to help other practitioners have a safe space, professional space to work out of, without breaking the bank or going out of business right from the start. So I wanted to make sure that as many people as I could touch knew about that. And I met a lot of great people. Shout out to Maisha, gonna teach a sex magic workshop. Who else did I talk to? Dreamwalker Arts, who's gonna probably do a pop-up. Yeah, just so many awesome people. The Corellian Nativist Church, we're going to maybe do a collaboration on some classes, because our online portal has like 40 classes in it. But we actually don't have any classes on Wicca. Because even though I'm a Wiccan and have been for 25 years, I don't really feel like I'm the right person to teach a class on it. Maybe a free webinar, but to teach a full class on it, I feel like that should be done by someone who is initiated. So that was really cool to connect with the Nativist Church. And if you guys have seen my Better Witch podcast, then you saw the episode with Janine DeOya, who has been a Corellian high priestess since the 80s. She's actually a second-degree priestess in the Corellian Nativist Church, which I didn't know. So when they mentioned, when I went over to their table and I was like, oh, you guys are Corellian? I was like, oh, do you know Janine DeOya? They literally screamed. They were like, do we know Janine DeOya? She's a second-level priestess in our church. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So that was really cool. So we'll probably do that. And yeah, that was my goal for the day. And I definitely accomplished that. And shout out to Black Herman. That is perfect timing. Perfect timing because I have my third Black Herman candles. Have you guys seen the white candles? Hold on, let me show you. Okay. Damn it. I said I was going to be on real quick. It's already Already been here for half an hour. Okay. Look at the white ones. Look at that. You guys might have seen me go live from the shop when we got the black and purple ones in. The white ones took a little bit longer, and I was waiting for the white ones for myself personally. Spirit told me you need the white one. I actually still don't fully understand the reasoning behind it, but when Spirit speaks, I listen, and hopefully at some point I begin to realize. But look how phenomenal this graphic is that my hoodoo teacher, Brother Moses, created. It is a combination of the image from his original grimoire combined with elements of some real life photos. We have actual photographs of him at some rituals that he was holding here in New York, in Harlem. So Brother Moses combined the outfits. How badass. This outfit reminds me of Usher's Met Gala outfit with the cape, giving Darkwing Duck a little bit. Okay. But these are, my God, the power on these are amazing. This powder here, if you guys don't know the story, this powder is created by Dr. Cosmic Nuage, another one of my hoodoo teachers in Columbia, South Carolina. The dirt from Black Herman's graveyard and the dirt from the crossroads in the cemetery were obtained by me. And I was so honored that my teachers would ask me to do this. And so I obtained the dirt, sent that to Colorado, which was then combined with some things, sent to Columbia. And that is where Doc Cosmic actually made the powder and then conjured the spirit of Black Herman to ask him how he felt about us petitioning him and how he felt about us doing something about the fact that his grave is unmarked. It just has a plain stone. It doesn't have a proper headstone. And what he told us was that the dirt was rightfully obtained. Yes, your girl did good. And that he absolutely wants to make sure that his place in hoodoo history is cemented. And he does want a headstone, but he does not want charity. He does not want us to just like raise money and get donations for his headstone. He was a wealthy man. He was incredibly successful. He never took handouts from people. That was not his thing. He was crafty. He always came up with ways to make more money, grow in popularity, grow his business as an entertainer. And it's just not his style to accept charity. Instead, what he said was, I want you to commission me. I want you to petition me for magic and miracles in your life. Let me work for you the same way you would call on any other folk saint. And let me earn that headstone. So Brother Moses consecrated these candles and some prayer cards with the dirt that Doc Cosmic created. The prayer cards actually have the dirt under the lamination. You can see the dirt on the cards. And yeah, Black Herman has been working for me in unbelievable ways. I've been posting my spells and the spell results in the spell section of the Coven discussion feed. Other people have been doing the same. People have gotten apartments in a matter of days. I can't tell you guys, because this is not a Coven exclusive live, about exactly the things that Black Herman got for me that I asked him for, because those are a part of future projects that I have to keep under wraps until contracts are signed and announcements can be made. But the work is working. And if you want a little more of the tea, then go to the feed and read up on the parts of it that I can share publicly. And yeah, so this is my third. I'm being a little greedy, but it is what it is. This is my third candle. The first one I used to introduce him to my ancestors. So I presented the first candle on my ancestor altar, because my ancestors and my guides are my go-tos in the spirit world. I like to check in with them before I just be out here willy-nilly making relationships with, the spirits of dead folks. So I introduced him to them. All was good there. That witch ritual went very well. He showed himself to me, he showed himself to my ancestors. All was in accordance, all was good. The second candle went to my initial request from him, which, like I said, results already happening, just waiting for contracts to be signed, offers to be made, all that good stuff in order to like tell the public. But that is all underway. And there's another component to what it is that I am creating in my life that I know that Black Herman can help me with. So I have this third candle for what I think is going to be my final petition from him. I'm not trying to be OD. I'm not trying to be super crazy greedy. And these things are kind of big things. So I really want him to focus on them, and give me his assistance in making them happen. So one more working with Black Herman coming up soon. And yeah, he let me do the white candles for whatever reason. Okay. Yes, it really truly is. Things have changed. The Black Herman candles, these are 65. The prayer cards are 35. And we also have copies of his grimoire. He wrote a book while he was alive. That is $29.99, I believe. And you can get all three things individually from my website, bronxwitch.com. But we also have a bundle, and the bundle is only $110. So you save quite a bit. The bundle, you get the candle, the prayer card, and a physical copy of his grimoire. So I would go with the bundle personally, especially because the number one question I've been getting from people is, what do I ask him for? Like, what do I petition Black Herman for? And my recommendation to people is, first of all, whatever you want. But second of all, read his grimoire, which is not long. I have it here. Right by my bedside because I was reading it. This is a nice hardcover that I got for myself because I'm the boss witch. So I got myself a hardcover. The cover's in the shopper paperback. Okay. But yes, I went and got a hardcover for myself. And this book has already been so freaking helpful to me. You would not believe. Dream interpretation was one of his specialties. So there's a whole section in the book on his interpretations of certain dream symbolism. And it's a long ass like directory. It's like 20, 30 pages long. He has so many different dream references and symbols, and it has really been helping me. So that's why I have kept it by my bedside, by my dream journal, because I have been going to his references to see what certain symbols that I don't understand might mean. And one of my dear friends, Prison Bay, if you're not a Coven Witch, you don't know who that is, but my Coven Witches know. Prison Bay had a wild dream that he knew to come to me to interpret. First of all, y'all who know me know that I walk with Crossroads spirits. There are many Crossroads spirits in my spiritual team, my spiritual court, and Papa Legba or Legba is one of them. And I have a altar to him in my near my doorway, and there's a very specific picture that I have on that altar that I found on Etsy. It's like a person's drawing, right? So this is not like necessarily a well circulated picture. Why did Prison Bay email me and was like, hey, I had this dream, you know, you my witch friend, so can you tell me what it means? Because you were in it and it feels relevant and blah, 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 blah. And he tells me about this old man with a straw hat and a jumper, like in the fields in South Carolina. And the man was teaching Prison Bay how to do something like on the farm. And I was there, like just kind of like helping out or whatever. And as soon as he told me that, I was like, oh shit, that's Legba. And I sent him a picture, the picture that I have on my altar, and he called me. Like, he didn't email me back. He called me and was like, yo, that's the guy. That is the guy that was in my dream. I was like, yeah, I know. I know. That's my guide. And he had a message for you. And this is what it was. But there were some things in the dream that I didn't understand. And I really felt like Black Herman could help. And sure enough, he had some guidance on what that meant, what those symbols that I didn't understand meant. So, yeah, get the bundle. I think that's the best thing to do. I get that feeling about him too. I'm glad you think the candle smells good. It's not like fragranced at all. This is a straight up hoodoo candle. This is a straight up conjure candle. So the powder on top is dirt from someone's grave that's been buried for 90 years. Okay, dirt from a crossroads where other dead bodies are. Black cat bone, I know, is one of the ingredients that Doc Cosmic uses for work like this, and various other things that definitely don't smell good. So I'm glad you think it smells good. Whenever I smell it or I get too close to it, I actually start to get a headache because it's so vibrational. Um, but yes, I also feel like he's a little bit of a side eyer. Um, the feedback that I've gotten from my teachers who have conjured his spirit and other people who are working with him is there's kind of a jovial, kind of fun energy about him. Remember, he was and is an entertainer. He was the most famous illusionist of his time, so he is charming. He is captivating. He is entertaining. And he is, you know, a Black man that hung out with like the biggest names during the Harlem Renaissance. He left Kentucky, toured the country, and settled down in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? He was good looking, was a handsome man with a full head of hair, okay, hairline intact. You know what I'm saying? He was probably a hoe in the streets, no offense. No disrespect meant. But you know what I mean? He probably and not only that, hold on. I actually know for a fact that he was because I watched a YouTube video about Black Hermit. Shout out to Keisha for sending it to me. And apparently his wife was taking him to court and all kinds of stuff because he was for the streets. Apparently he was constantly unfaithful. And she eventually sued him for divorce because she was like, bro, I can't compete with the horse. Okay. So he was definitely a ladies' man, a charmer, a talker, and not like one of these, fluffy, angelic grandma types of guides. If you call on him to help you, he's going to do it from the perspective of a celebrity, of somebody with wealth, somebody who is good with his words and stuff like that. So he's definitely not going to be like, oh, it's okay, love and light. You know what I mean? He's going to be like, let's do it. Let's do it. And in fact, the dream that he showed up in of mine, he showed up in one of my dreams when I first introduced him to my ancestors. That night, I slept in front of that altar. That's something that I do when I have work going on at an altar. I sleep in front of it, wherever it is in my apartment. So, me sleeping on the floor in my living room is not or my kitchen, totally normal thing here. If you came into my house, it's a good thing I live alone now. If you came into my apartment, you would just be like, what in the world is going on? But yeah, I might just be like asleep in my hallway because if I have work going at that, I'm going to sleep in front of that candle. Anyway, so I was asleep in front of my ancestor altar and he came to me in a dream. And in the dream, I won't get into all of the details, but at the very end, he just pushed me. He literally took my shoulders, turned me around, and then pushed me into the thing that I was being pushed into. And was just like, bloop, there you go. Go do it. You asked me to help? Well, here you go. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, his horoscope analysis I think is really cool. He does a very brief one for each of like the zodiac signs, but it's the dream guide that really I love, because I've definitely have bought like dream interpretation books. We have one at the shop called like the Dream Significance Dictionary or something like that. Like a useful guide. I've definitely flipped through it in the past and had it be helpful. But his is from page 77 to 120. That's 43 pages. 43 pages. And they're small. Like each one is like this thing, and then it's like 2 3 lines, this thing 2 3 lines, this thing 2 3 lines. So there's a lot of possible symbols that you might see in your dreams that he covers. And so I was shocked that the one that Prison Bay was curious about was in there, because it was definitely like a random farmer thing. But he had it. So yeah, yeah, I could definitely see him being that way. Like he's not gonna like, you know, hold your hand necessarily through things. Like he's not hostile. I don't get like any type of aggressive energy, or even any type of like trickster energy, which is interesting because he was an illusionist and a magician. So it would probably be kind of like expected for him to kind of have like a tricky type of energy, like ha ha ha, I'm gonna slip you up on this, like did, but that's not it at all. And I think that's probably because his life as a magician, an illusionist, and an entertainer was one part of his life. And his genuine practice of magic and knowledge of conjure was another part of his life. And where it made sense to overlap them, he did. But where they did not overlap, he did not. I don't think he ever tried to make all of his hoodoo and conjure practice a part of his stage act. There would have been parts of that that he would have taken too seriously, that would have been too sacred to be a part of an act. And so when you call on him, he has a genuine desire to see you working magic in your life and having success with it. But he's not trying to do it in the same way that he would execute an act on stage. The trickery part was for his entertainment persona. The sleight of hand was for his entertainment persona. That part of him was not for his conjure work. His conjure work was a genuine calling to serve his community spiritually. He made herbal medicines, he held rituals for people, he did divination. And yeah, I think that's the reason why I don't get like a trickery kind of vibe from him, even though he was a magician. Um, he's like, I'm an entertainer and I'm rico suave and I'm all that, but I'm also a dead ass conjurer. Not dead ass, even though in fact his ass is dead, but he is a legitimate conjurer, a legitimate hoodoo man that took the knowledge that he gained when he was in Kentucky growing up, very seriously, and took serving people and helping people very seriously. And I think he just felt like he needed to get paid, you know, well, to do it. And being an entertainer was how he ensured that he lived a life of affluence and opulence and comfort that would allow him to then spend his evenings helping people with their life troubles. Um, so, yeah, I have very much fallen for Black Herman. um, he's very, very special, and I'm super grateful um, for all of it. Like for my hoodoo teacher teaching me about him and asking me to be a part of this project of getting this dirt and all of it. I'm grateful to my teachers for being open to my idea, because the idea of getting him a headstone was mine. um, I think one of you mentioned it in the comments during one of the lives, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. We shouldn't have this incredible conjurman who is buried right here in the Bronx in an unmarked grave. It doesn't seem fitting for who he was in life and what he's going to do for people in death. And I took that idea to Brother Moses, and his response was the correct response, which was, let's ask Black Herman. Let's not decide for ourselves. Let's ask him through divination and find out what he wants. And this is why we have teachers, right? Because I probably would have just run with the idea if I was by myself, because my thought process is, of course, who doesn't want a fancy new headstone? Like, of course, who wouldn't want that? And I probably would have gone about it as a charity. I would have taken up donations. And I'm really glad that I have elders, that I have teachers who understand these things even better than I do after multiple decades of practice, but understand certain things more than I do, and was wise enough to say, pump the brakes. There's a better way to go about this idea, and they led us all to a better way. So, yeah, anywho, I think we are just about sold out of black colored Black Herman candles. So if you're interested in the black ones, definitely handle up on that. I think there are only 3 left of those. We do have more purple, and we have more white because those came last. So we still have quite a few white. And then I think we have like 7 purple left, but like 3 black. So keep that in mind. And we're very low on prayer cards. So if you want to do the bundle, definitely don't wait too long with that, because once the prayer cards are done, then the bundle will no longer be available. You'll have to get just the book and or the candle. So, all right. But yeah, Witchsfest was amazing. And I posted on my Instagram at BronxWitch. If you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely go do that. And I also posted on the shop's Instagram. If you don't follow the shop, then definitely go do that. So I just posted like a little recap video of some of the sights and sounds. But definitely also watch the stories, because that's where I posted more like live action of the day, lots of selfies with all the people that I met and hung out with, which was really, really awesome. So if you want to see all of that, definitely check that out. I am going to repost the reel here to YouTube as a short. So you can also see it here as well. I'll do that right now. And yeah, it was just super awesome. And every year I get inspired. I really want to have a Witches Fest in the Bronx. Um, I'm building up. I'm building up to that. We've been having tea and tarot parties at the shop every solstice and equinox since we opened. But for the first time ever, I did the event outside in the park across the street. I got a permit and everything. And it was really wonderful to have it outside, have a lot of traffic, people walking by. It was really cool. And to me, it was kind of like my baby Witches Fest. So I'm going to be doing tea and tarot for the autumn equinox outside again, because the weather should still be good. And then next year, though, I really feel like one of these tea and tarots maybe needs to actually become a full-on Witches Fest with musical performances and presentations and readers and vendors and the whole bit. That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. That'd be a big undertaking. I know it's not easy. But after all the connections that I've made, I think there'd be plenty of performers and vendors and stuff that would come through and make the event super special. I'd want to get some food trucks to post up. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely got my wheels turning. I feel like the witches of the Bronx need their own Witches Fest. And maybe we can collaborate with the Wiccan Family Temple and they can help out. Um, yeah. So, anywho, had an amazing time. Just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. I, every year, always walk away with a ridiculous amount of business cards and stuff because I take getting to know everybody very, very seriously. So I have followed all of those people, tagged all those people, and will be reaching out to them. And I'm looking forward to seeing maybe some of you guys at Witches Fest 2025. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I got some work to do before I head to bed and then at the shop tomorrow. And I have a spiritual bath to go prepare. So let me go do that before it gets too late. All right, witches, have a great rest of the night. Blessed be. Bye.